Hey everyone, happy Homebrew Wednesday. I meant to post a video a while ago, last week in fact, right before the National Homebrewers Conference came to San Diego. Had the video shot, got so busy, didn't have time to upload it, so I didn't get to post that video last week, but I drove down, took a half day from work on Wednesday for the conference, attended the BJCP reception. I brewed a beer for that. It was an El Dorado hopped pale ale, if you will, extra pale ale. It was based on a recipe by Ted. I can't remember his last, Hossotter or something like that. I can't remember his last name. Anyway, he's a Grandmaster Level 3 BJCP judge, and he wanted to do a talk on hops. So I was one of 4 local guys to brew a beer to his recipe with 4 different hops. I did El Dorado. There's also Equinox, Mandarina Bavaria, and Lemon Drop that he wanted to showcase. So I had the honor of brewing that beer for the reception. And then the conference started on Thursday with some talks. But before that, actually, was the Brewing Network anniversary party, the 10th anniversary, and it's kind of teamed up with White Labs for their 20th anniversary. That was held on the Broadway Pier, downtown San Diego, right on the water in the Barcadero district of downtown, right next to the Midway Museum, which is an old aircraft carrier that got decommissioned. They turned into a museum. So really cool spot. All the beers were poured inside. Outside they had the stage with band playing and food trucks. So that was a lot of fun. And like I said, Thursday talks started up. That was the day they did all the judging for second round of nationals. And Thursday night was what they called a welcome reception, which is kind of what they used to call Pro Brewers Night. Ton of pro breweries pouring. We had the Confidence beers on draft, and that was set up outside at the Town and Country, which is cool. We actually had really crappy weather here in San Diego the whole week. It was just what we call June gloom. It's just kind of overcast. Marine layer comes in, and the sun never really comes out. Keeps the temperatures down somewhat, which is kind of nice. But yeah, San Diego can be actually kind of a horrible place to visit in the summer, well, at least the early part of summer. So Friday was more talks, and then the most fun I've had in a long time, club night. Having the conference within driving distance, I loaded up my car with 7 kegs. I dropped those off prior to club night, and I had R&R Coconut IPA, which I blended with Robert, which didn't turn out as good as I hoped. My beer was a bit of a mess. It just didn't clear out. It was a little rough. Took the roughness off by blending it with Robert's beer, but it's not quite what we wanted. It's kind of in the ballpark, though. Had that at the Quaff booth and the Society of Barley Engineers booth. And the cool thing that I don't think I've ever mentioned this in any vlog so far, but they were initially limiting, potentially without letting you bring any kegs in, to 20 kegs per club. And so with Society of Barley Engineers, we wanted to pour a bunch of our sour beer that we brewed up last year and have all these fruited variations. And we were worried we wouldn't be able to do that with our 26 tap bar. So what we did was, and I kind of spearheaded this and started a new club called Society du Lambic, which is kind of a play on barley, the society part of Barley Engineers, our kind of love of traditional Belgian lambic. Of course, everything we brew is just American Wild Ale, so I want to get that out there. We're not trying to use lambic to describe the beer. It's a pseudo-lambic, if you will. It's not spontaneously fermented. But anyway, the club brewed up a bunch of this beer. We did a little over 100 gallons last year. This year we did over 150 gallons. So we served up all those beers in a separate bar. Well, we split our 26 taps. We had 13 taps going, sour beer, 13 taps of clean beer. Clean beer side, I had the R&R Coconut IPA with my Imperial Brown Porter with coconut macadamia nuts. And I had some other beers on reserve that went on later. And then for the Society du Lambic S2L, as I'll refer to it here on out, I had my sour beer, base beer with peach wood and a little bit of French oak. So mine was non-fruited. Everyone else did fruited. We had kumquats, cherries, raspberries, lychee, peaches. We had Zinfandel grapes. Quite a few variations on draft, and we had a huge line for that booth, which was awesome. So I mostly hung out around those two bars and poured some beers for a while. Got away to the cloth bar for a bit. They were killing it over there. They had the little tiki pavilion there inside and had it all decorated, and that looked awesome, and had some amazing beers poured. I heard Kelsey Pinaire's hot food kicked in 15 minutes. Thankfully, there's a secret keg that went on later that I did get some, so special thanks to Kelsey for letting me know about that secret keg so I get my hot food fix. I'm kind of skipping ahead there a bit, but just kind of want to do a summary of the conference. There's definitely some really good talks, some done by a lot of local professional brewers or just professional industry people, and some really great home brewers. It's good to see a lot more funky wild ale sour beer talks that are going on. Met James from Former Future / Black Project Brewing. Real nice guy. Got to share some beers with them. After his talk on Thursday, we had a Milk the Funk meetup. Milk the Funk is a group. It's a website now. It's a Facebook group of people just into funky sour beers. And Dan here on YouTube, Dan, I don't know what he's going on YouTube, ABA, I think it is, on YouTube now, came out for the conference. He's a big part of that group. He helps them out on their wiki articles, and he's very heavily involved. And I got to meet Dan, which is really cool. We hung out quite a bit throughout the conference and shared some beers. Got to try a lot of his dry hop variation of his sours, the Solera project. Got to try a lot of my homebrew sours that I don't have a lot of, and I don't take out a lot or, share with a ton of people. So, but I was more than happy to open bottles I brought 2 of all my sours, except for my Flanders Red, which isn't very good, to share over the weekend. So I think Dan got to try them all, and a lot of other great brewers in that group as well, trying some of their beers. I don't remember really having a bad one at all. So I think everyone brought something that was at least, pretty good at the worst case. So I'm sipping on some Old Chub Nitro that someone left in our hotel room. We had a bit of an after party that got shut down by the security one of the nights. That was going pretty good. It was probably like 25 people in our hotel room. And some people brought some Old Chub on Nitro, which I haven't tried yet, so cheers to them. And club night was a blast. Had a ton of fun. Saturday was more talks, but I think I only made it to 1. Then went to lunch, came back, and we had Barley Engineers pouring in the social well, which is part of the Homebrew Expo, where they have a lot of, on one side it's all this homebrew equipment, manufacturers, suppliers of homebrew equipment. There was commercial breweries pouring beer at different booths. There's Coronado, Ballast Point, I think Lagunitas. I can't remember them all. I didn't go around as much in there. I did one big long loop and then went around a little bit later. And then off to the side, they had 3 bars set up for homebrew clubs to pour. So I was hanging out there about 1 to 3 o'clock pouring beers, and had the rest of my hoppy lager, my Scottish 80 shilling on draft, a little bit left of the Peachwood sour beer, and then I had a few bottles of my brown porter, my Belgian pale ale, and my bourbon barrel aged barley wine that I was pouring out as well, or set them on the table. So that was really cool. We had a lot of fans from Club Night stop in and check out our beers. It's really cool. Really proud of Barley Engineers. I thought we had a really good selection of beers. I didn't think there was any beer that was, I regretted, why is that on draft? I thought they were all good to great beers. So, I thought we did a good job. But yeah, Saturday night, another highlight because of this right here. I've been telling you guys about the project collaboration sour beer I did with my friend Brian Trout, and we entered that in Goose and won a silver medal for category 17 sour ale. Hopefully I'll focus in on there. So anyway, that was so much fun. winning this medal and celebrating afterwards. And it's really hard to win a second round medal, so that was really, really cool. And the guy that won gold in this category ended up being not only a part of the Milk the Funk group, but he also won Homebrew of the Year with Best in Show. So, heck, if you're going to lose to someone, might as well win to the Best of Show guy, right? And not bad considering it's a beer we brewed in September, blended and then bottled in January, and it's drinking really good. You can tell it's young, but the flavors are more or less there. They're just not mature. So happy to get that medal. It was really, really cool to get up on stage and celebrate with everyone in Quaff. We lost again to the Brewing Network for Homebrew Club of the Year, which is unfortunate, but man, what a conference. Partied afterwards at the Quaff Bar Open, had a bunch of bottles that didn't make it further in the competition to open, and Kelsey went over and found his habanero hot foo that he got a bronze medal with, and they had the extra bottle. We found that, we drank that later, which is cool to try that. If you didn't see Kelsey's talk and you're an HA member, make sure you go. He'll tell you how to brew a great IPA, but there's so many other tips in there as far as packaging and process in brewing that is really, really good. It's a really good talk. Derek, my buddy from Barley Engineers, he gave a great talk on sour mash. I didn't get to see it since it was when we were pouring in the social well, but he gave a similar talk to our club earlier, and I heard he was standing room only. Great talk from him, so I'm looking forward to seeing his presentation, and miss some other good ones I want to check out later. And that will be all on the AHA website for anyone who's a member, and you should be. So, man, a lot of fun, a lot of beer. Just took a break from it all on Sunday. Just came home and unpacked, did laundry, all that. It was nice to be able to drive home instead of be on a flight, sort of hung over from the night before partying. So that was really nice. Great conference. Thought it was really well run. Next year we'll be in Baltimore, Maryland, or Baltimore, Maryland, something like that, as you would say if you're a local. Somewhere in the ballpark with that. So I don't know if I'll make it out there next year, but we'll see how it goes. I do like going to all the conferences, no matter where, especially somewhere new I've never been. So I'm going to try to make it, but I might have some other plans. Might be a little higher up on the list. But thanks for watching. It's been a long ramble for me. Cheers to anyone I met at the conference, came up, talked. Until next time. Cheers.